time our people understand one people, one nation, in spite of our diverse cultures and religious beliefs. Fellow Nigerians, our country will not only survive, it will thrive. Listen, success is a process that we all have to work hard.
Our people are blessed. How come we're still in the struggle? It's getting pretty too late to stand casting blame. If we love one another, too sure. If we care for each other, we'll grow. Move or the waters roll dry. Now you know my stand, Nigeria. Oh yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you
Good
hear
evening.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have us. It's 5 o'clock, or I think maybe 1 minute past 5. So I think it's a good time to start. And yes, I want to welcome all of us. I will hand over to our moderators immediately. Engineer Benson and Moses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ehi. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Can be a bit more louder. Can be louder.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes.
Better, yes.
Okay. Benson, you're there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, our distinguished guests. Good evening, members of the SPPG Public Leaders Network, colleagues, friends and citizens joining us from across Nigeria and beyond. Of course, we know SPPG has transcended just Nigeria. We're in Africa, and then we're going around the world. So on behalf of the SPPG Public Leaders Network and the Communications, Media and Narrative Strategy Committee, I want to welcome you to another edition of our Unpacking Nigeria series. This is our second edition, and first one we had some awesome time. At this point, I will not be doing this alone. I'll be doing this with my co-moderator. If you can quickly introduce yourself. So, by the way, my name is Moses Datigam. I am a member of the class of 2025, and I'll be co-moderating today's session. Thank you so much. My co-moderator, Benson, are you there? Want to quickly introduce yourself?
My name is Engineer Benson Adiola, and the class of 2023. I'll be on this journey with Moses. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benson. So today's conversation focuses on a question that sits at the heart of Nigeria's democratic future. And what's that question? Do Nigerians trust INEC to deliver credible elections in 2027? Do we? So this is not merely a question about just INEC. It is a question about democracy. It is a question about legitimacy, and it is a question about participation. And perhaps most importantly, it's a question about trust. Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the SPPG team. We have any with us, as well as the executives of the SPPG Public Leaders Network. Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay. We have in the building, we
Benson.
have the following people that we need to also acknowledge, being the major pillar behind everything in SPPG. And first, I want to acknowledge the Dr. Mrs. Alora Ayeda Tobo, the CEO of SPPG Africa, and also Dr. Abiola Akiode Afolabi, the Dean SPPG Nigeria, also Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, the founder Fixed Politics and SPPG Africa, and also Dr. Mrs. Ariela Onoko, Director SPPG Public Leaders Network on the call, and all other senior colleagues of Fixed Politics and all other students on board. Thank you very much. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you so much, Benson, for that introduction. So over the past 2 decades, right, Nigeria has made significant progress. You agree with me in democratic consolidation. And we have witnessed peaceful transitions of power, improvements in electoral administration, and of course, increased citizen engagement. But yet, following the 2023 general elections, many Nigerians expressed concerns regarding electoral transparency, technology reliability, institutional independence, and accountability. And today, as political alignments are already beginning to take shape ahead of 2027, these conversations are no longer just academic. They are quite urgent. You will agree with me. So basically, our objective for today's conversation is not to assign blame at all to anybody or to any institution. And we're also not trying to defend any institution. At the same time, we're not trying to promote any partisan interest. Our goal is simple. Our goal is to basically understand where trust currently stands. We want to understand why trust appears to have declined. We want to also understand what reforms may be necessary. And of course, we want to know how we as citizens or institutions and leaders can collectively strengthen confidence in our electoral process. So to help us unpack these issues, we are honored to host 3 distinguished guests. I saw them on the call. 3 distinguished guests in our midst who will be helping us to unpack this issue. So first, in no particular order, we have Mr. Osinama Wilfred Ifoga, who is an experienced electoral official who has served in various capacities and positions at the administrative and operational levels, and was recently appointed the Deputy Director, Information and Publicity, INEC Headquarters, Abuja. Please, with our digital hands, can we welcome Mr. Osinama Wilfred? Mr. Osinama, are you there? Please just confirm you can hear us. Oh, amazing, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Thank you. Second.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So our second guest is Mr. Austin Aigbe, who is a development expert, a public affairs commentator whose work focuses on gender equality and equity, electoral integrity, as well as political participation. Please, with your digital hands, once again, help me welcome Mr. Austin Aigbe. Mr. Austin, are you there? Please just indicate if you're there so we can see you. Mr. Austin, Benson, help me confirm Mr. Austin is on the call.
Yeah, Mr. Austin is on the call, just to speak. Sir, can you unmute your mic and say something?
Okay. So maybe while we wait for him to get through the technical part for his, I would also like to welcome the third guest who will be helping us unpacking some of these issues. And of course, at this point, I'll say thank God we have a she. So thirdly, in our midst, we have Dr. Khadija Abdullahi Iya, who is a visionary social entrepreneur and change maker. Interestingly, she was the former 2023 governorship candidate of Niger State and 2019 vice presidential candidate for the Alliance for New Nigeria Party. So please, with your digital hands, help me welcome Dr. Khadija on call. Dr. Khadija, are you there? If you're there, can we just see you? Say hi so we could hear you. Dr. Khadija, are you there?
She's there, but it looks
Admin, they need to make her.
like she's unable to
Make her
unmute. I
co-host.
don't know. Can they tell you, please help?
Admin, you need to make Dr.
What is
Abdullahi
happening is that
co-host.
the admin is not unmuting. We don't have capacity to talk. I just got unmuted now. My name is Austin Egbe. So I'm sure she's there and she's unable to unmute herself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Austin.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. I think HLE will help us get through to Dr. Khadija. So while we wait on Dr. Khadija to, yes, I think she has been made the co-host now. Dr. Khadija, are you there? Can you hear us? You can unmute now and speak. You have been made a co-host. I think
Okay.
Dr. Khadija is still...
Okay. Moses, while we wait for that, I would like us to create an indulgence to allow few minutes, maybe 1 minute conversation from the leadership of the SPPG on the call. As in the call, while we waiting for the dean, allow the director to say something before we go on to the question. Over to you, Mrs. Alokoma. If you can speak, you can mute your mic and say one or few things before we start with the questions. The SPPG.
Good evening,
Mark, can you
everyone.
hear us?
Yes,
Thank you
I
so
can.
much.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Good
Thank you
evening,
so much, man.
everyone, and thank you for joining the call and being part of this conversation. So, Unpacking Nigeria is something that's dear to all of us because we're trying to make sense of Nigeria and trying to understand the part that we have to play as well as citizens. I know with the understanding that we hold the highest office in the land, the office of the citizens. So, I'm just going to welcome everyone and thank all our guests that are here today. And I look forward to a very, very vibrant and informative session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and well done, communication team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for joining us on the call. Dr. Khadija, has she been able to unmute? Dr. Khadija?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Oh,
it's good to be
fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us. So to set the perfect tone for our conversation this evening, I would like us to take a quick poll. HN, are you ready with our poll?
Yes.
Just so we can all have a feel, and I guess we also have a feel of the level of trust, how much Nigerians trust INEC to deliver elections in 2027. So can you put up the poll? So you just take, great. So if you check just on your chat section, you see a link, just click on it and it takes you to the poll. You just answer the question quickly. You just click the link there on your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. You just click the link there on your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So the question is simple. You just click the link there on your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So the question is simple. You just click the link there on your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm hearing myself, I think. So the question is simple. Actually, can you mute? You just click the link there on your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm hearing myself, I think. So the question is simple. Actually, can you mute? You just click the link there in your chat. It takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm hearing myself. Okay, so we'll come back. We'll come back to the poll. Can you? The results are quite interesting. I hope our guests can also see. Takes you to the poll. I hope everybody can see it. Oh, fantastic. Is it just me? I think this one is. We'll come back to the poll. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I think
Moses,
we'll come back to the responses. Yes, it was echoing.
Yeah,
I
Moses.
think.
Yes, there's a lot. Moses, can you hear me? Okay, I want to, before we go ahead, let's get our coordinator to say something, which is Yohiani, before we launch our questions, and so we even have that time to be able to collate our answer for the poll. Over to you, Eyi.
Oh, all right. Oh, thank you, Eyi.
Over to
Good
you.
evening. Good evening, Moses. Good evening, Benson. And good evening, everyone. Well done. I think we're already getting in the mood of the conversation. So this event is being put together by the Communications Committee. So on behalf of the Communications Committee, I just want to say welcome to everyone. I want to especially say thank you to our guests for honoring our invitation, Mr. Wilfred, Khadija, my sister, and Mr. Aibe. We are so honored. And I want to also thank the director for all her support that she has been giving to us all the way. Thank you for being here, Ma. I don't know if any of the leadership of the SPPG is here. Mrs. Ariola, do we have any of them here so that they can just say a word before they move? Sorry, who is here?
The dean is here. The dean is here, but she's not co-host.
The dean. Oh, so please, can we make her co-host so she can at least say something before we move ahead? Dr. Abiola is in the house. Please, I want us to recognize her and give her a minute or two to say a word. She can be unmuted, Dr. Abiola, ma.
I don't know. I checked the call and I've not seen Dr. Abiola. Okay. She there?
I can't see Dr. Abiola. It's another Abiola.
I can't see.
I don't see Dr. Abiola on the call. So.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's go ahead.
All right. Okay. So thank you. This is just to say a big welcome to us and to encourage us to please follow us on all our social media handles and to say that this event comes up once every month. So we're going to be having another one the last Saturday come July. So keep your fingers crossed and your eyes open and continue to engage with us. Thank you and do have a nice time.
Thank you so much, our ever capable team lead. Thank you so much for those words. So we're going to come back to our poll, but before then, I'd like us to get the conversation started. So I'd like to begin with a very simple but perhaps uncomfortable question. So I guess, And the question is this: if elections were to held tomorrow, would Nigerians trust the outcome? I'd like to begin with Mr. Wilfred. Mr. Wilfred, you get the question. If elections were held tomorrow, do you think Nigerians will trust the outcome, sir?
All right. Once again, from wherever you're listening from, I want to say good day. And to my co-participants for today, I greet you all, and my brother especially, Mr. Igbe, always following me everywhere I am called upon to discuss issues concerning the election. Mr. Igbe, can you leave me alone, please? All right. I want to say this. If INEC was to conduct election tomorrow, if the stakeholders will trust us, so whatever perception they have in mind for tomorrow, that's the same thing that we have when we conduct it next year, which is 2027. However, we know that planning for election takes time. It's a project that begins at a particular time, planning, implementing, and of course, the final execution using existing laws that is provided. And there's one thing I know. INEC is a product of the law, and whatever we do is also guided by the law. And it's not by sentiment or the way people feel. I think that's one thing I see most Nigerians with. I think it comes out of emotion most times when they react to certain things. They say they don't even know when to actually blame INEC for certain actions or things that happen within the process. So for now, with what we have and the existing law, if we were to conduct election tomorrow and the funds are available, I know the commission has the capacity to do that. So it depends on how the people will perceive it. That's just my own take on that.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilfred. Mr. Igbe, are you there? Do you want to also respond to that? Mr. Igbe, can you unmute?
Needs to be unmuted, please.
Okay, while we wait on Mr. Igbe to unmute.
He
Dr.
needs to be
Khadija,
unmuted. Please. Thank you.
So I requested to be unmuted like about 3 minutes ago. Well, I'm here. Well, I've had my brother. I'm happy he said we're trailing on each other. But let me first of all appreciate the leadership of this of the platform, particularly for our own sister, who had to pull us from everywhere we were. Now that we are here, we've got to do justice to this conversation. In Asemsha, Dr. Abiola, whom I called my mother, I'd like to appreciate that, the dean of the school. Having said that, let me congratulate my brother too, Oga Wilfred, until we get an electoral architecture that align with the wish of the people. Two of us are on the same boat. We will rock this boat together until the electoral system improves, until electoral architecture get to experience the trust they desire. If election were to hold today, will Nigerians trust the process? I see someone already made a comment that because of spiritual glitches, Nigerians will not trust INEC. You see, that's the level of trust deficit. That's at the height of the imbroglio that is facing INEC of today. Even though INEC conducts the best of election, that trust issue will continue to follow INEC wherever it goes. Even coming from Ekiti, that we know that the election was arguably fair. I don't want to say free, because there were all manner of things that result to free. There are political party action that impeded on the so-called credibility of the process, which arguably you cannot put that at the doorstep of INEC. You can't say INEC should be responsible for dealing with issues of vote buying. I won't take that because I know it's not INEC's responsibility, but INEC does have a part to play. But with all due respect, if INEC is to have elections today, people will be reading to it by virtue of what has happened in the landscape in the last 1 year. And that is why, with all the issues that went in Ekiti, that I think was fair enough, people still were looking for the loopholes that INEC did not perform well. If INEC is to have election today, there will still be trust deficit, no matter what INEC will do as of today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that response. Yeah, actually, your points are well noted. There's so much trust deficit, in Nigeria, but we'll come back to that conversation. I'd like to also hear from Dr. Khadija. Dr. Khadija, if you're there, what
Good
do you
evening,
think?
everyone. Thank you so
Good
much
evening.
for having me. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our founder, Madam Obi, Madam Alero, the CEO. I'd like to say thank you to Ehi, my sister, Moses, Engineer Benson. We are all in the SPPG family. It's so beautiful
so
to
much.
be back here. And I'd like to also say congratulations to the INEC officer and Mr. Austin Ivy for your comments. Honestly, I don't think Nigerians will trust the process for now. If it's happening tomorrow, it will even be more suspicious. When I shared the flyer for this talk, I got tons of feedback. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, we can.
I got tons and tons of feedback, some funny, some deep, some very controversial. But one question really stuck with me. They asked me, the person sent me a message and said, do Nigerians even trust themselves? That question, that question to me is a rabbit hole. And if we dive into that, we will never get to the issue at hand. So I'd like to say the trust gap is so wide. Let's take, for example, the 2023 glitch hangover that we had. INEC heavily promoted and promised the real-time upload of presidential results via the INEC result viewing portal, IREV. The prolonged failure to do so on election day created an enduring public perception that the numbers were vulnerable to manipulation. That's one. Secondly, I would say that the perception bias is massive. When people see partisan actors or political allies appointed as resident electoral commissioners, it's hard for us to view INEC as a neutral arbiter. Honestly, it's very hard. And then the last part is the logistical frustrations from data leaks and restrictive voter registration to late polling materials and polling units located miles away. It all signals to the voter that the commission isn't working for them. So I'd say that it's going to be very, INEC has to do a lot for the trust gap to be filled. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Khadija. So from our opening statements, it's obvious that there's a trust deficit, right, in Nigeria. And I want us to drill down on this a bit. Of course, many analysts suggest that trust is actually the currency of democracy. And once trust is lost, we tend to have decline in voter participation. We tend to have all manners of conspiracy theories going around, and institutions, like INEC, struggle to even maintain legitimacy, as we have heard. The next question I would like to ask Mr. Wilfred is, when you speak with ordinary Nigerians today on the streets, what do you think, sir, is the biggest reason many people appear to have lost confidence in the electoral process? Mr. Wilfred, sir.
All right. Thank you for that. Actually, I don't even need to speak with ordinary Nigerians on the street to get their feeling. I belong to so many groups on WhatsApp. My alma mater is there. My alumni group is there, as well as other social groups that I belong to. And whenever things happen, especially concerning the commission, as it has to do with our activities, you need to see the way people vent their anger on the platform and things like that. Then, when I respond, I get the backlash, and I could feel their pulse. And some will say, oh, because you work there, you are just trying to defend them. But then there are certain things that people don't really understand with the process, and that they play a major role to control. Yes, most of what we are getting today was as a result of the 2023 general election, the presidential results. I think that is any conversation at all. The next thing, will there be glitch? Of course, it never leaves. They are still yet to heal from it. And the best way to do that is for us as a commission to ensure that all our processes, activities are open to the people to see how we implement them. However, for the issue of the glitch, I just want to say this. People just believe because the uploads were not done immediately for people to see, they believe the manipulation took place there. I want to let them know whatever happens on election days at the polling unit. The IREV is a portal to view results. The IREV is not a portal to calculate results. So it's not an automatic portal that collates results, and they think probably because it wasn't uploaded immediately that people didn't get it. That was what happened, because for other elections that took place that day, which is for the Senate and the House of Reps, those results were immediately viewed. But for the presidential election, I think one thing the commission failed to actually do was to test run or have a feel of how it would be to manage the traffic and the level of inquiry people will make on election day, because most people were not interested in the Senate and the House of Reps. It was just the presidential election. And the system, as at that time, could not handle it. So, but then I think where the commission also failed as at then too was to communicate this immediately. We gave too much gap, and that brought a lot of insinuations that probably something was done at the back end and things like that. And more so, there are a lot of checks and other lapses too encountered during that process. So that has passed, and we have looked at it. We have done our retreat and review of some of these things that happened. And that is why today, even the elections we had in the FCT, the beavers were upgraded so that whatever result is being uploaded on the IREV is the same with what has been written on the result sheet, so that even when it is mutilated, it is impossible to upload. And more so, other issues too that we encountered during that process, the commission has also come out to find a suitable way to, go over it. More so, not all these issues directly comes from the commission. It has also to do with other agencies that collaborate with us to ensure the process is smooth.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your response, sir. And of course, you mentioned something about the fact that some of these issues, INEC were not able to communicate it to the people. I'd like to direct my next my question to Mr. Austin. Mr. Austin, what would you say the issue is about perception, performance, communication, or something deeper? What would you say the issue is regarding the reasons why many people appear to have lost confidence in the process?
Nobody has lost confidence in the process. People have lost confidence in the electoral management body. The system is still a system, but the trust on the managers of the election is what has become the issue. Let me take you down memory lane. Elections happened before the 2023 elections. There were elections in Anambra, Edo, Ondo. In fact, the last before the very elections of the 2023 took place in 2022. And none of those elections was the FCT poll, the Ekiti poll, and the Osun elections. In the FCT poll, we had advised from a civil society perspective, even INEC had acknowledged the challenge they had with the Beavers device, where it took on average about 5 to 10 minutes to accredit a voter. And in many polling units, voter did not show up in polling unit because there was even a particular polling unit that had just one voter posted on the wall at the polling unit, just one. You realize at that time, INEC was working towards the 2023 poll to try to create a sense of what will happen in that poll. So there was some relocation of, that was exactly the time an expansion was done to the polling unit that moved from, I can't remember the number now, to 57,000, around 57,000 polling units as we have it now today. So in an attempt to reallocate or to relocate voters, certain errors were made, which INEC acknowledged. So we moved from there in FCT to Ekiti. Ekiti election was fantastic. There was still a little bit of improvement on the Beavers. It took on average 2 to 5 minutes for a voter to be accredited before voting. And the report shows, and INEC said we're going to upgrade on the Beavers, maybe improve the sensitivity of that device. Then we went to Osun election. Osun election became the game changer. It took on average between 1 minute and 2 for a voter to go through the Beavers. It was clear, the sensitivity was high, the trust increased that INEC was learning from previous polls. And of course, most of us became INEC officials in sending messages to the public landscape that this election in 2023 was going to be an election of the citizens. And we started mobilizing people, doing all manner of videos to encourage voters to vote. I will not mention name. My friends in INEC, I'm happy that my brother, Dr. Wilfred, was not in the Abuja office at that time. He would have been attacked. There were staffers of INEC who could not go home because of that failure of the 2023 elections. I'm talking about my friends in INEC. I mean, the same way I have my brother here. What happened in the 2023 election was that you had 3 elections that took place. 2, as my brother has rightly said, 2 were uploaded. 2 were uploaded. Don't forget that the real problem of Nigeria is that we're operating a unitary system. We no longer operate a true federal structure. Everybody is looking up to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including the president, to go and solve the pothole in your village, somewhere in Anambra, somewhere in Calabar, somewhere in Sokoto, whereas you have local government officials. Because of the structure of the Nigerian state, attention was now on the president, that if there's anything that will do good or bad for this country, it has to be the president. Because the president has become a local government chair who commission water projects, who commission markets. A president going to commission an international market, which is really a local market, has become local. That was where the attention on the presidency began. It is not INEC that made that happen. It was the Nigerian system. Now you have in 2023, after all of those conversations, civil society encouraging citizens, young and old, there were big ban on youth mobilization, particularly at the Tesla Balogun Stadium, at the old Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, old parade ground in Abuja, somewhere in Benin, somewhere in Port Harcourt, somewhere in Kano, mobilizing young people to go and vote, to go and register and vote in the election. And suddenly, the only issue that aligned with the people was the one that was not uploaded. And yet, the other 2, the Senate and the House of Representatives, were uploaded. And then you tell me that we should just sweep it on the carpet. I said no. I said no. And I've said consistently, INEC must apologize to Nigerians for that glitches. Otherwise, there will be no forgiveness. And for INEC to truly get to 2027, INEC must come up with a sense of humility and say, okay, we apologize. And in one of the meetings I attended, a situation room, and that's the INEC chairman, the current INEC chair. I said, can we trust you? He said, yes, that we can trust him. Not too long, we heard about the X message of support, and suddenly you want to investigate something, you are using your internal system to investigate something. I don't get it. I don't get it. You are asking your capacity to investigate something that is your own. Why would you do that? You have further
Thank you so
created
much.
a trust
Thank you
issue.
so much, Mr. Thank you so much, Mr. Austin. We're still going to come back to that. Quickly, I would like us to hear from Dr. Khadija, who of course is a player in this. Dr. Khadija, what do you think is the biggest reason many people appear to have lost confidence in INEC, as Mr. Ibis said, that actually we didn't lose confidence in the process, but in the managers of the process? Dr. Khadija.
I'm trying to
Dr.
unmute.
Khadija.
So
Oh,
I would
okay.
say, for me personally, I had the confidence to run because I believed in the system. I believed that INEC was going to, I believed in all the things that INEC said. So I had the confidence that everything was going to be electronic and everything was going to pan out well the way we planned it. But then I found out that there were a lot of glitches, like Mr. Ibe mentioned. And the first red flag I had, I won't lie, I don't know if it's okay to mention it, it's very controversial. The first red flags that I had with INEC, Mr. Wilfred, I must say this. I had some people, consultants, approached us during our campaign now. They were telling us that there's a way that they can manipulate the system so that we can win the election. And they asked for a mad amount of monies for us to for us to pay the INEC officials, because we were told that the biggest players in our states were doing the same thing. And if we want to match, if we really want to win the elections, we must do as they said. Mr. Ifoga, I know you can't believe it, but that was what happened with my team. And we had series and series of meetings with these people. They gave us some documents, and the only thing that scared me was that, so for all the work we did in that year, it means that we're just wasting our time. If there are going to be manipulations at the back end from the INEC, then all the wahala that we did, my team and I, was just wasted. So I think that INEC must do more than they're doing to secure the trust equity of players in the electoral process. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response, Dr. Khadija. At this point, I would like to say that I can see the chat section is quite buzzing and
I think
quite
Mr. Wilfred
interesting.
wanted to respond directly to what
Oh,
Khadija
okay.
just said.
Okay. Quickly,
All right.
sir.
All right. I know others are listening. I just want to say this. I'm not actually defending the commission here, but I just want to let you know about this. There are certain things one needs to understand. First of all, anyone, just like you mentioned, some kind of consultants, even INEC official that comes to you to part with money that they can do this, I want to say that's a lie. Okay? They just want to eat your money. Then two, there's one thing I want us to look at, vote buying. For me, vote buying was a positive sign for the commission that the vote counts. If not, nobody will buy the votes. Nobody will spend money on votes. Prior to 2015, when we started using the smart card readers, people don't even buy vote. They don't even bother whether voters come out. Somehow results just appear. But immediately we started introducing technology, we started pruning down some of these malpractices, and they started going for the voter. Vote buying started. Then if you look at the smart card reader, then it had its own lapses as at that time, and because of the registration process, because the voter register we have now, actually, those data were actually captured from 2011 up to now, you find out that during accreditation in election, you find out that those who registered from 2011, just before we started using the BVAS device for registration, normally have some of these challenges during accreditation. That was how the BVAS came in, instead of because then it was just a single this thing we are using, which was the fingerprint, but now it's now bimodal, either the fingerprints or the facial recognition. So when we started the facial recognition, you find out that accreditation process was even faster. Just like us in say maybe 1 minute, it's not even up to, I think, just few seconds. As far as you are the one, it captures you immediately, except probably the photograph you have that is in the data was blurred as at that time. That is why most persons need to do a review of their voter data that we have. Then, if you look at that process now, and what people promise they will do, I tell you, they cannot really do it. Not even tampering with the data we have. I just want to clear this. The BVAS is used for accreditation during elections, to know those who actually were present for the election. Then it takes their biometrics in order to do the accreditation digitally. Then the second function of the BVAS is after the election in that polling unit, they will use it to snap the result sheet or scan whichever language you want to use, then upload it on the INEC result viewing portal, so that those who were not at the polling unit or privileged to be there to see what happened can actually view the original result sheet in the IREV. So the IREV is like an album of all the results for that particular election, so that anyone can actually view. On your own, you can decide to start putting them together to collate and see and follow the process. And meanwhile, the original result sheet, which is handled by the presiding officer, and that is why I want to say this here, the office of the presiding officer is very, very, very important. So for every politician, every stakeholder that is going out for election, that result, whatever the presiding officer generates, is key. And that is why if you are preparing for elections and you want things to be right, you need to have your eyes on ground. Your polling agents have to be there. Observers have to be there. This is where things are. So between that point and the collation point, are you getting it? So that was why, like I said, commission has actually made effort. That's why another thing too, I also want us to look at is, in the commission, we are just about 15,000 permanent staff of the commission. So during election, over almost 1 million plus we use for the election. So we can't keep this magnitude of staff on our payroll. So during election, we have to go for adult personnel. We don't know the mindset of this personnel. We don't know their political inclination. So we don't know, like I used to say, there's no art to tell the mind's construction on the face. So we recruit them, we train them, even white corpers. So they go out there, we tell them you are the eye of the commission. And that is why we call on stakeholders to all help us monitor. So the process is all stakeholders are fair. So we expect ordinarily that everyone will uphold high civic responsibility while discharging these duties. Okay, for example, now, as an INEC staff, there's no law that says I can't vote on election day, but I abstain from voting. So you can imagine with the way Nigerians feel and the emotion they express, if I vote on election day, with the way things are, they will believe I can manipulate the results. Okay, so these are some of the things we try to, abstain, at least to just create some level of neutrality in whatever we are doing. So I just want to say this now. There's no way you're going to pay anybody or a consultant to say they're going to manipulate the result. It's not possible. Because whatever we are doing, because we've seen what has happened in the past, that is why whenever we are doing anything, we always have consultative meetings. Anything that is sensitive, we bring in the media, bring in the civil society groups for them to see what we are doing. And it must align with the law. If it doesn't align with the law, people go to court, and when there's a ruling for the commission to stick by the laws, we do it. But if it's something that will affect our operations, of course, we do appeal so that it cannot, truncate the process. So, however, as you're watching our back, I welcome criticisms like this, anomalies. Even in the elections we just had, the Ekiti, and even the by-elections we had, there were still some anomalies, but they were very, very minimal. So all we are doing is that as we march towards that time, we'll look at some of all these inadequacies and see how we can overcome them before 2027.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
It's possible for a guest to be asking another guest question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that clarification, Mr. Wilfred. Before we proceed,
Go
please,
ahead.
I can
It's like he
see
has a question.
some of our audience have already started dropping their questions. Please, you can drop your questions on the chat. We'll come back to them. Over to you, Benson. Do you have some questions for our guests?
I think Mr. Austin says he has a
I don't think
question.
Okay, go ahead. Let him shoot his question.
Yes, I just want to ask my
Go
brother.
ahead. 1 minute,
If you
sir.
cannot
Okay,
pay anybody to access, to be able to manipulate election for you, why was it so easy that an aide to the minister of the FCT, Yeson Wike, could access the back end of the voter registration? It means that you can access the back end of the result platform. I mean,
all right. Let's clear what actually happened there. That was the continuous voter registration portal. Even me, to some extent, I have access to the portal, but that I have my own limit. That is, if I'm assisting you to do anything concerning voter transfer, updates, or replacement of the PVCs, as the case may be. If I use my Google account to, process for you, I can assess what is going on there. But however, we have registration officers, and each registration officer has restricted access to log on to that portal for them to register voters and also do every other thing they have been given access to do. In the case of that, it's unfortunate that the access for that particular registration officer, another officer asked for it and was able to view it and took a screenshot of it and passed on to a third party, which happens to be Larry, who now went to share it on social media. And that information was of a voter who was doing a transfer, and that thing came out, and it's quite unfortunate. But I just want to assure those listening
my
that
brother,
it's not
just want you to say that it is possible. It is possible.
Okay, no. Well, yes, I think yes. I'm not defending any staff. Like I said,
yes.
Any staff can come to it, say they can pick and say, pay me this, I can do this for you. But like I said, it is believed anyone that has been charged with responsibility for something, that person should uphold to that value and oath of office. Yes. So if you falter there, of course, the law will catch up with you. So I'm not defending anyone. So this is supposed to be what the standard for doing it. And it's not like I'm vouching for anyone, but that is the standard practice. And of course,
yes,
administrative
and the standard is that it is possible for it to happen. That's what I'm saying. Going by what said.
However, the information shared was not. It wasn't actually detrimental to the person in question, but then I think it was a wake-up call for the commission to strengthen his administrative approach.
Okay, thanks so much. Let me come in here because we are going to the second part of the conversation, which Mr. Idoga is already prepping some of my questions on how to use BVAS and IREV and what you said. No, Nigerian Data Protection Act. For that such act, that particular INEC staff should be punished. Is it punishable? But before we get to my question, now we are going to the lessons of 2023 general elections and its impact on trust, technology, transparency, and the future. Now, we had the first poll, the BVAS is bimodal voter accreditation system, INEC result viewing portal, which is the IREV, and the digital transmission experience, electronic transmission. Technology, I'm a tech person, I'm an engineer. The back end, now there's a question in the poll, in the Zoom that even these are BVAS, who is hosting it? Where is the server? So are some of the few questions I expect want to know and how to do about it. Anything we act? Yes, some people are just waiting for you to act on your systems. Now, technology has become central to electoral credibility. Yet, technology can both build trust and amplify distrust when the results fail. Before it's coming, however, controversy around iReport became defining post-election conversation, which is very, very important that we need to look at. So now, my question now is this. For a lot of people, most voters believe that this innovation, because INEC spent a lot of money doing this solution software and the ROS, the billions that was quoted, believe that innovation will significantly reduce manipulation. But is it true? However, changing with the result uploads and the system performance generated widespread public criticism and litigation. Internal observer, this is a data from 2023 as a data, noted that operational failures and communication gap to damage confidence in the process as at 2023 general election. Now, my question to you, sir, looking back objectively, and I want to just pinpoint the answer. What lesson did INEC learn from 2023 general election? What are the lessons? Just give us 2-3 points. What will you say Nigerians misunderstood, which already said that the person in the airport is a major person that we need to look into? And what does INEC knowledge will have been handled better? Do you get my questions? Or I should
Okay, yeah, okay. Let me just, don't worry. I think I got you. All right, first of all, I want to say this. There's one thing ordinarily that we are, like I said, the trust deficit is there. We are trying to, still build our image. But there's one thing that's clear. As far as Nigerians is concerned, if your candidate doesn't win an election, the commission has not done well. But if your candidate wins, the commission has done well. And we are trying to. Then two, let's look at the technology, yes, involved. You did mention about where someone breached the data. If there's, of course, there's punishment for it, because ordinarily in the staff condition of service, if you give out information you are not authorized to do, it's an offense. Of course, you will be sanctioned and disciplined for that. And more so, this has to do exactly, there's action for it. More so, it has to do with data as well. So that's by the wayside. So there are sanctions for it. Then for the issue of the beavers, so to speak. Now, I want to let you all know this. The beavers and whatever technology we are using, even before the commission decides on that, of course, they know what it is, and whatever they are using, I think they must have gone for the best. They must have gone for the best. Okay, so I will not probably relate, however, the security about the production of the beavers or whatever technology is used exactly to secure the data, except an insider who has been authorized probably gives out information. Are you getting it? So those that are charged with the responsibility of protecting it, of course, they know what they are doing, and whatever happens, that's their own comfort. Then I also want to state this too. It seems a lot of persons are actually hammering on the beavers thing so much. I just want to clear their mind from this thing. Whatever the beavers does is done manually first. That is why I still insist, of course, the voting process to remain manual. You thumbprint on the ballot, they do the proper sorting and counting. It is the figures recorded on the result sheet that is uploaded on the beavers, which is at the end you can view on the IREV. That is key. All right, that is key. So that's one thing I want people to actually put their eyes on, because if you still look at the law empowering us to upload results on the IREV, there's still that clear statement on the manual result, of course, because that is what it will still be taken to the collation center for the aggregation of other polling units to make up the results at the collation point. So this is what I want people to actually watch, guide it jealously, and see what they are doing. And there's another thing people are not actually like, for those of you, the FCT election, the Ekiti own was quite, the speed was there, but 92% was included very well. Like people mentioned, real-time online. Yes, it's real-time online. For those that their network is strong enough, it goes. Those that are not strong enough, it will hang until the network permits it to upload. For those you might not see, probably results had issues, and that's why they will not upload. Because there's an upgrade on the beavers, where whatever you enter on the result sheet is also entered on the beavers, an electronic format of it, digitally entered, so that when you upload and it doesn't match with what's on the result sheet, it will not upload. So it was used in FCT, it was also used in Ekiti, and the by-elections that we had as well. So these are some improvements. And somehow these elections, we use them as pilots somehow, why still there are issues or challenges encountered, we improve upon them before 2027. Then, however, it may be a different version of it will come up before 2027. Like somebody mentioned, money given to the commission to, purchase beavers and things like that. Yes, of course, because some of them we have, and some are already going obsolete. So procurement is on to get more so that it will be efficient with the way we want things done. And of course, so that Nigerians will at least accept whatever is going to happen now.
So can't we do this electronically without using paper? Is it not possible to cast our election? Is it yes? Is it yes or no? Because I want to just ask you. Is it possible we do that? Is it yes? Is it possible?
No, of course you don't need to ask
I just
me.
want a
It's
yes
possible, but the
or
law
no
is the
answer,
law
so
for
I can
now.
go.
No, it's the law. It's the enabling law. I don't know if you're getting me.
Sir. We'll come back to
There's
that.
an
Mr.
electoral
Austin,
framework. There's a
I understand
framework.
you, sir.
Yes, the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Mr. Austin, over to you, sir. From a governance and development perspective, you and the civil society, was the damage from 2023 general election primarily a technology failure, a communication failure, or a trust failure, or is it 3 in 1? Mr. Austin.
So it will be 90% trust issue before you can share the other 10% among the others. It is first, that we trusted INEC to the point of following INEC blindly to say that we were now going on the IREF. I'm saying this without missing words. We had mobilized citizens to go online after they voted. We had talked about the only way for mandate protection was for citizens to turn out to vote in their polling units, get to see their results, then go online and verify that the result that they saw at the polling unit is the same as the one online. If it's not the same, they should blow the whistle. Between the polling unit and the online portal, the whistle was missing. The whistle was missing, so there was no whistle to be blown. So that's why I said the trust was a critical concern for me. Let me say that the IREF is a game changer. INEC, in its own wisdom, developed the IREF for the purpose of all of this we are talking about. The IREF did improve confidence in the electoral system. Privilegedly, I was in that room for the first time the IREF was presented. The beavers was presented. The beavers came with a very, it was accepted by all political parties, civil society, media, Nigerians generally. Maybe the only people who did not accept the beavers were the politicians, because it cut off the possibility of them to do what they call jebugari. You know, jebugari, when you soak it, you just be adding water, the gari will be increasing. So to reduce that jebugari, the beavers was there to curtail it. The politicians, I'm not saying that Honorable Khadija was part of the politician, but maybe she can answer if she was among them, but that's an aside. Politicians did not like it because when election is going on, if you lose if you are losing a particular area, you wait until that result is counted and announced. Then you then call, oh yeah, increase our side, increase our side. Then you then see what we call Jebugari coming in with every load of votes. And that is why in the 2023 election, results from Adamawa, results from Sokoto, results from Taraba had come into Abuja, had been declared, whereas the results from Rivers was the last to be declared. And you will now know what happened to the Rivers election, by the evidence we have not seen afterwards. What I'm saying in essence is that INEC is still utilizing the beavers. INEC has got the trust machine. I'm not against, see, we don't care who wins in an election. No, who wins an election is immaterial. But the process that led to the victory of that individual is what is our concern. Because that process is part of what is increasing the cost of elections. When people buy vote and all of that, if you can buy vote, as my brother has said, vote buying is as a result of strengthening of our democratic architecture, the electoral system. That is why vote buying increased. So not a buy vote, but you see and buy. There's a difference between buy before and buy after. Buy after is a major concern. when you vote and you are showing the ballot, that is the one we should nip on the board. But I think INEC have learned its lesson, but they must apologize to Nigerians about WAPO in 2023.
And I'm sure INEC with Mr.
All right.
With Mr. Ifoga here, it would take some of these lessons back to the chairman. And maybe they call it a national stakeholder press conference. How will you evaluate the deployment of beavers? I'm going to the politician now. I'll come back to you, Mr. Ifoga. How will you evaluate the deployment of beavers and IRF portal during the just concluded AKT global election? Dr. Khadija, I'm sure you monitor online or TV or you follow the proceedings. Dr. Khadija, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So
okay,
for
now,
me,
yes.
I think the failure. Can you hear me?
Okay,
the failure.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
The failures for technical and systemic there's a lot of issues. So I would say that the short answer may be in the Ekiti one. Is it the Ekiti or I can't remember exactly the state.
Ekiti. Yeah, Ekiti. Just conclude the election.
There are so many human issues. There are so many. So I'll just say the short answer to that are failure. The short answers to these failures were three. Number one is the technical breakdowns, the systemic institutional analysis, and the political maneuvers heavily feeding into one another. So I'll say that the independent observer groups and all the people, civil society, I'm from the civil society, so there are things that we were monitoring. I'll say that three things: technical failures. Under that technical failures, the IRF glitch, it's one of them, the delayed uploads. I'm now referring to even what happened in 2023, because while National Assembly, like what Mr. Ifoga said, while the National Assembly results uploaded smoothly, presidential results were not. So I'll say the technical glitches, but the delay severely also damaged the public trust and fueled suspicion of manipulation. So the systemic failures, and that's the infrastructure in itself. I feel that deep-seated institutional and operational issues crippled election day. So severe logistics delays, which despite years of planning and a massive budget, polling units nationwide opened hours late. INEC struggled to transport personnel and materials due to poor coordination with local transport unions. Then we talk about the economic bottlenecks. The election was hit by government-induced crisis. Specifically, I'm still talking about 2023. A severe
Are you still here with us?
I think she has a glitch
I
with
think
her
her
network.
Okay. Now, Mr. Okay, let me fire another shot to Mr. Ifoga.
All right.
Now, you have already shared with us, but I feel we can recalibrate a lot of. I'm a tech person, sir.
All right.
In between some of these things, it seems that some of the INEC staff are compromised. I'm talking from an outsider. I'm not judging INEC.
It's all right.
If they can be taken through major SOs, an ambassador to the country. You are not just an ambassador for INEC. We trust you with the space with all the ad hoc. Maybe we need to make sure that even the ad hoc staff you are recruiting, they sign an oath of allegiance so that it can be taken against them.
Are you hearing me?
Then two, if okay, yes, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, man. Just with your thought. Now, is it possible that all these things are put in place so that we can limit the complaint? A lot of people are complaining about human error. There's a software, there's an hardware, and there's a humanware. That hardware, the beavers machine and the iron, without a humanware, it will not work. That we're monitoring those things need to be properly trained. Know what they need to do. If BVN can work, NIPS can work, if a SIM card can work, so what's the big about this thing? If jam out Sam's question, and you can see the results globally. be done. Despite they were talking about the law, the National Assembly, let them be doing whatever they are doing. But the one that you are within your kitty is it to make sure that the technology will eventually. Now, there's a question even in the Zoom in the chat room that once beaten twice shy. So a lot of people are having a lot of issue with INEC concern 2027 general election. Now, can you do a demo test? Now, you said they're going to be a new beavers. They are updating, they're uploading, they're buying and uploading new software, the hardware, and all those things. Can the Nigerian nation, okay, we're having a new beavers. We're going to do a mock presidential election. Because what I discovered that during governorship is just few states. During presidency, the entire infrastructure is being used at the same time.
Yeah.
And do we have enough data? Do you have enough data in all the places? Some places in Nigeria are still using 2G and 3G. Now, do you have something that can make it so small that no matter the data, or do you want to make sure that there's internet and solar panel data that you will give each of your staff, you know, the network coverage, if you need to work with the network, so that it will be easier for these guys. So what do you think for 2027, just in a few minutes, that we can trust you and let us do a demo mock test, if you need to tell the chairman?
All right. I just want to say this. Okay. Let's look first of all how the beavers thing came to be. In 2015, the commission actually introduced the smart card reader. That particular device takes the biometric, that's the fingerprint, for accreditation of the voter. And in most cases, most voters were unable to be accredited because their fingerprints could not be matched immediately and caused delay. So because of that, the incident form was introduced, and that was a jackpot for them. So they just decided to abandon the smart card reader. They started, it was abused. Then the commission actually looked for a way to improve on it, and thereafter, that was how we came up with the Z pad. The Z pad was actually what was used as then. I think it was used in Edo, if I can remember clearly now. That was now used for the first time to upload on the INEC result viewing portal. Okay. So, and sorry, please, let me just turn on the volume of the TV.
Okay. While we wait for, okay, I'm sorry, we should be back. Mr. Austin, be on standby.
Okay. Can I go on, please? Sorry, please.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So,
a few moments.
And thereafter, we had another device they use for registration of voters, which we call the DDC machine, the direct data capture machine. So all these devices were now integrated into one. And that is what you see today as the beavers. During election, we call it the bimotor voter accreditation system. Then during registration, we call it the IVED, the INEC voter enrollment device. However, so during elections, I just want us to really focus on what we do. Okay. We talked about training for the personnel. And if you watch out, there's this MOU you have with NYSC, believing that for you to be a copper, you are a graduate. And it's believed you have the minimum level of education for you to understand what we are doing. So the commission will not be wrong to say every copper will be used as presiding officer or the set of other personnel are using in the field, because at least these are graduates. And as at now, there's no graduate that will tell us that the person is not tech savvy. At least they have mobile phones, whether Android or or any other phone that can access the internet. Because the usage of this device, I will even say that the phones are even more sophisticated compared to the beavers, because just use it to scan, get the voter, then at the end, they scan the result and they upload. So what is actually difficult there? But I want to say this too. It also it's quite disheartening that some of these persons you expect to perform optimally during elections, after training, you need to come to some of our training grounds. I remember, because I am a field person, I was actually in the field before coming here. So most of all these things you say, I already have experience about them. When I train and maybe I ask a question, say, okay, after giving them some tips, I'll say, any question? Guess the first question they ask me, sir, how much is INEC going to pay? So I'm saying this so that people will already guess where I'm driving to. So that means for you to ask me a question about money, It therefore means if you're out there in the field and someone gives you money that someone is enticing, you compromise. Are you getting it? So the truth is, we expect everyone to, for being sync with what the commission, the drive of the commission, as empowered by the law, to ensure that everyone will recruit. Because somehow you don't even know the mindset of these persons you are going to, put out in the field to do their work. That is one. Then two, stakeholders too. Politicians, they also have their way. Even the community where you are working in, at times, most of the community, they already know their favorites. Some community will tell you that no other party reigns here, just this other group. Why some have even devised means to scare off other persons they believe is an opposition. Then three, again, we talk about logistics. Remember, we don't have that luxury of having vehicles that we're using on election day at once purchased by the commission. No, there's no point for that, because in other climes, they don't have their own vehicles. They simply rely on haulage companies and other courier services to do most of this transportation here and there to distribute their materials. Some they even do it days before. I shared an example one day with Mr. Igbe, can even testify to that. I have a relation who is outside the country. They were doing their election. They sent in the materials of election, even the ballot paper, to his house. They posted it to him to take to the election points 2 or 3 days before. But that cannot happen in Nigeria, of course. When we want to do elections here, you see the deployment we do, the military comes out, all the security architecture we have in Nigeria, they are all deployed because of election, just because of the behavior of our people. But at the end, what happens? You still find people not living up to what the process. And then at the end, they'll say it's INEC. Are you getting it? So what I want people to do is this. There's the law on ground for us to conduct election, and there's nowhere in the law that asks anyone to compromise. Every staff we use on election day, including me, we all sign the oath of neutrality, which is the EC 17, because you mentioned it, where everyone has to, depose themselves to not to, misbehave during election day, to uphold, the integrity of the process. Yes, there's the oath of neutrality from that every staff, right from the presiding officer upwards, even up to the chairman, because the chairman is the chief electoral officer for the nation, because he is the returning officer for office of the president. So we all feel that from, just in case there are issues, that oath of allegiance that you sign, we, count against you as well. So most times we do all these things believing that everyone will participate, especially even the transport vendors too. Some of them, they compromise. Some of them deliberately delay. So at times you cannot even tell what will happen. Even among security too, you cannot tell. At times, like people talk about from experiences from civil society groups, they said at times they tell the security people, vote buying is taking place, someone's bringing out money. He said they turn their face this or that way. And remember, at the polling unit, the only person we have there is the presiding officer and stamp presiding officer and the other support and team there. A presiding officer cannot get up and start pushing somebody, sharing money. Of course, that was why we said these things, even within 300 meters there, if you don't have any business there, you move out. So we found that for us to actually succeed, it takes everyone in the process to participate, not just heaping the blame on the commission. But however, some of the issues, mistakes and challenges that you people pointed out, the commission is not unaware of it. These are things we are thinking critically on how to really approach them, because it's going to take everyone hands to be on deck. And mind you, as we are trying to ensure the process is difficult to manipulate, they are also devising means on how to beat the system, even within staff in the commission. So I'm not absorbing anyone. Are you getting it? So it's a thing that as you're watching my back, I'm watching the other person's back. So that to ensure that whatever, because I'm not sure the chairman will come out to say, no, we are going to rig the election for somebody. No, he will not do that. He has promised that he's going to deliver. But then you think as he's making that pronouncement, people are not thinking on how to, beat the system. There is. Okay, I remember Honorable talking just now that some consultants came that people are doing this, that you do. But I'm saying, please, madam, don't do it. Because there's no way somebody will manipulate the system. The only way you can manipulate the system is for you to go there, sensitize the voters to come and vote for you and protect it. That is what I am saying.
Benson, you're muted. Benson, you're muted.
Okay, now Okay, Dr. Khadija, I want to come to Dr. Khadija. Thank you, Moses. You've heard what Mr. Foga just said. It is not all about INEC, it's about every one of us. I think there's a course about anti-corruption. Everybody have a value to compromise. That's why I see those professors, they've not seen 10 million cash before, and you're giving them 100 million to do something. Why would they not do it? And he also said something about education. It's not every copper. Let me put a disclaimer, IT savvy. Most of them have never used laptop. So using copper is another thing. You need to also try to check it out. So what will be your view, or what will be your advice to INEC going forward to 2027 general election, Dr. Khadija, on this technology development?
Good evening, everyone. Again, I had to go off my video because I've been having serious network challenges. Can you hear me very well?
It's okay. You can hear. You can go ahead. You can hear.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
So
Let's
I'd
go ahead.
like to respond to some of the things that Mr. Ifoga said. Initially, he said that when they say that he said that they train these youth when they maybe ask them to come and serve during the elections.
As ad hoc staff.
I want to know, as ad hoc staff, do they really train them on the value that they are going to deliver to Nigerians? Do they really re-engineer their minds to know that they are doing everyone in Nigeria a favor for them to deliver, to be in partnership with the INEC and the generality of Nigerians? Do they understand that the value that they are training, that they are going to give, that they are contributing to Nigeria is for themselves and for their children? That's number one question. Number two is another point that he mentioned is that that they don't have enough vehicles to transport. INEC has been giving so much money. I think it's about 145% increase in from the last election that they are asking for right now. Will they say that from that amount of money, I don't know, educate me, they cannot buy vehicles to make things easy for their staffs to move around? That's number two. Number three is that, do they pay their staffs very well? Give them proper welfare packages in order to eliminate the manipulation of politicians? These are questions I'd like him to answer. But generally, I'd like to say that we have had some very good legislative wins over time, but we need more than just laws. We need real enforcement. Number one, we need to upgrade. We need action. We need to upgrade the technology. We shouldn't just be uploading photos of paper forms. We need electronic collation directly from the beavers machines to stop manual tampering. Number two, we need true independence. We have to stop the president from appointing
the INEC chairman. Mr. Austin, are you there? I think we lost that. Dr. Khadija. Mr. Austin, are you there?
My
okay,
network.
She's back.
Yes.
Okay, just go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
We need true independence. We have to stop the president from appointing the INEC chair and RECs. Let's shift that power to a neutral body like the National Judicial Council. Number three, clean up the logistics. Funding needs to be released early, at least 6 months ahead. And we need to stop the last-minute rush that
Okay. Before we go to our, and let me ask Mr. Austin to say something before we go to our questions from the audience. I'm sure we have some questions already.
Sorry, I
Mr.
said
Austin.
The last point is the logistics. The funding needs to be released early, at least 6 months ahead. And we need to stop the last-minute rush that ruins our logistics. Thank you. Sorry about, I've been navigating between two networks and it's still giving me a headache. Sorry about that. Thank you.
I think that's one of the major reasons Mr. Ifoga is saying about the technology also within so we can pardon them. I'm not speaking for INEC here, sir. Mr. Austin, over to you.
So there are, I won't wait for Mr. Faga to answer some of the questions. I will quickly take on it because there are commotions of challenges. There's a human being, so for instance, in the last electoral law, 2026, we had made proposals following what INEC has initially supported, that there be a 1-year release of funds to INEC. As of today, INEC is already shouting that funds had not been released. An election, the general election, is in January of 2026. So there's a deliberate measure by the ruling class to suffocate INEC. We will not allow INEC to breathe.
Yeah.
So that is on one side. The human beings that work in INEC are Nigerians. And that is why system is important. That is why tech does not know whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Benin, Ijaw, or any language. Tech is tech. And when Mr. Faga said training people and they're asking for money, that arguably is Nigerians' fast lane mentality. Everyone is on a fast lane. You want to be able to beat your neighbor. And that is why we now have what they call a better pass my neighbor generator. This quest for acquisition of wealth is a challenge in Nigeria because it's there and we cannot eradicate it overnight. You put measures in place to correct those things you have identified. That's where laws comes in. That's where policies comes in to guard human behaviors. You see, the whole essence of Beavers was to curtail this overvoting and all of that. And I was so surprised in the Ekiti election, there were still 88 polling units that had overvoting, despite this measure on Beavers to stop that kind of overvoting transferred on the area. That is something INEC should deal with. We saw again where people were still using something that looked like incidence form, even though INEC did not call it incidence form. That people were still allowed to vote without going through the Beavers. Will you say that is a citizen something? That is squarely on the doorsteps of INEC. In the Rivers by-election, the presiding officer deliberately said, I'm quoting her now, that the Beavers failed and she has resorted to manual accreditation. When last did you hear of manual accreditation in our electoral lexicon? These are problems, and INEC, rather than cancel that poll, but again, INEC is afraid of canceling that poll because it requires, the law says that you should review the process for a week before you can declare the candidate officially. If INEC declare that election result null and void, does INEC have money to go back to that state and conduct a by-election? These are the issues, and politicians understand this. That is where I think that a citizen united is what we must form with this SPPG organizing, a citizen mobilization, a citizen ownership of the democratic architecture, a citizen ownership of the electoral system, a citizen policing beyond state policing, a citizen nuance, knowledge beyond anyone. If you take money at the polling unit, the citizen should arrest that individual. People have said, no, you cannot arrest. No, citizens have right to stop criminal action at your polling unit level. Citizens can then, all of us in this court, we can form a critical mass to not support INEC, but to support the electoral system. Once INEC has said this is the route to go, we will go that route. And if INEC goes off that route, we hold them accountable. For instance, on the day of polling, if results are not transmitted using the Beavers, the presiding officer must transfer it there before it goes. It does not need the internet to transfer that result. The same way in your village, if you are going to send WhatsApp message, you don't need the internet to send any message. Once you have sent it, it will be there waiting for the e-time to go to the other sender, to the recipient you have sent it to. Don't we know? Do we not have technical issues now with Honorable Khatija? But she's still coming back in and out, which means tech can fail monumentarily, not that it failed totally, unless someone has deliberately switched it off, like we saw in the 2023 election. The presidential upload of that election result was completely switched off, and we must criticize that switched off, not the totality of the process. INEC cannot do everything for us. INEC is part of the Nigerian state. INEC membership is part of, I agree, I've written a lot of op-ed supporting that INEC chair, INEC electoral commissioners, INEC state rep should not be elected by the person who also is going to be playing a football on a football pitch. You can't appoint your referee in a match. That is understandable. But the architecture we run today, the presidential system, allows for the executive to make such appointment. And that is why in my PhD work, I argued that the presidential system of Nigeria is the bane of our democratic consolidation. And that is a solid ground for me. And I can continue to talk about that again and again as I lay this to conclusion at this time, that INEC is an institution. Nigerians must support it. Nigerians must truly love INEC to the point that if they are doing wrong, we have the capacity to tell them you are doing wrong. If they are doing well, we must say they are doing well. But they must not be in a way that we're asking political influence in the way we interrogate. Mr. Faga, thus knows.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Every
Austin.
members of INEC.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Faga. I don't need to even reply to some of your conversation. Mr. Faga, just hold on for us. We want to take questions from the audience. Moses, any question from the audience so that we can round up? We have just about 15 more minutes.
Yes.
At 6:45, we're going to be rounding up. So Moses, over to you for the questions. Then we'll round up from the audience.
We take two. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benson. Thank you so much, Benson. At this point, we want to take questions from our audience. So please, if you have a question, you can just put up your digital hand and we'll get to you. Meanwhile, I want us to pick about 2 questions from the chat. So one of the questions is this. I think this is directed to Mr. Wilfred. He says, does INEC have a framework that allows private organizations to engage with and support its credibility enhancement image? Does INEC have a framework that allows private organizations to engage with and support its credibility enhancement image? And I also want to take another question. It says that
can we do one by one? Let the person just reply to that one. Then the second question, who are you taking it to?
I'm sorry, Benson, because of time. I think it's better he takes the 2 of them. Then let's have the questions from those whose hands are up. Then we get the responses.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Another question is, what is the punishment method to those returning officers that paint result sheets? I think I'll take these 2 questions. And then I think we can take 2 more from those who have their hands raised. I think we have Duke. HLE, can you unmute Duke? We can take Duke and one other person.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Awesome. Excellent conversation thus far. Thank you very much to SPLN Group and just to everyone who has been a part of this. Sir Wilfred, my question is for you, sir. Thank you very much for explaining to us the processes. However, with what has been shared in regards to the amount of money that has been given to INEC to prepare for these elections and to also take us through electronic to make sure that we are, ready ahead of time. My question is, as the Nigerian citizens are looking to you guys for this accountability process to make sure that, when we get there are no issues, what are some of your plans, contingency plans for technology? I mean, we know that, like we have asked a question, in this day and age in Nigeria, a business owner has thought about how if NEPA is not working, they have solar, right? They have this, they have that, so their food doesn't go to waste. And they know that if they don't do those things, their business will run down. So INEC is being in charge of this election. So INEC should also understand that there will be contingencies in case technology or internet is not working. What are some of those things that you can assure citizens that you have put in place to make sure that if happenstance there's a technology glitch, you guys have thought and covered this? 1. 2, what are some of the things you put in place to hold, like in a sense, what happens if it doesn't happen? If, for instance, on that day now, there's a technology glitch, how can we as citizens in turn hold you guys accountable? We cannot arrest you guys. So what can we do? Because you have given us a word now, for instance. So on that day, if this now actually happens, what can we as citizens do so that we don't feel like as if we're just complaining and nothing is being done?
All right, I think let me answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Jim.
So let's just take one more so that we'll all respond to the question.
So that I won't forget, because I'm not having a sheet right here to just take down these questions. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For the question you asked, yes, what's the plan B, just in case we have this technological hitch? That's why I'm trying to like diffuse your minds away from the election. Is not about the technology, so to speak. The technology is there to like audit us and to ensure that everything that we are doing is open. Are you getting it? So the technology will not stop the election. All right. Rather, it is to enhance the credibility of the process. I want us to get that quickly, because somehow it's like the narrative that people are actually carrying is that if the thing is not uploaded, it's like the election didn't take place at all, something like that didn't happen. Let me give a clear scenario. Chairman recently was in India, just to get their experience. In India, they have what we call the electronic voting machine, but India does not do electronic transmission of results. Okay. And the size of India, their population-wise and their voting strength. You can imagine if a country like India prints ballot papers, the amount of money the country is going to spend to do that. So they use electronic voting machine. What happens there is that the machine is in all the polling units. Every voter comes there. So on the display screen, they do their thumbprint. It reads it on their particular choice, which is recorded. Then a slip is generated that conveys the voter's choice, and that slip drops into a box. Okay, that's it. That's where it ends. Then on a later date, all these sheets that are drawn, which is now the ballot, they are now sorted and counted on a particular day. And then I think our chairman, from his explanation, he said he now asked, he said, where do they keep them? He said there's a particular office where they keep them. And I said, who ensures that it is secured? He said they have CCTV and everything. He said, you sure they will not compromise? He said they will not compromise. So you're not like, okay, assuming they compromise. And I said they will be sanctioned. He said, like, with what? What's the punishment? He said maybe suspension for 6 months or something like that. He says just 6 months suspension. He said, yeah. He said, is that enough? He said, of course, once one gets suspension, it's a dent on the person's image and the family and things like that. He now said, within his mind, he said, in Nigeria, even when you give 2 years imprisonment to somebody, people will still do it. Are you getting it? So the truth is, it's the mindset, because you know why I'm saying this now, because I see a lot of recommendations and suggestions on how our systems can be better, because ordinarily, the electoral laws we've been having, I don't see anything wrong with it, but just the way we behave in this climate, that is why we are forced to amend the laws that guides the process. Now we are talking about technology. People are now even agitating for the transmission. Now it's also electronic, transmission of the result. When I mean electronic transmission, as the presiding officer is entering it, it is automatically being calculated at the collation point. That is what's being agitated for now, just because of the trust that something still happens between this point. So, however, I want to say this now, just like we've been discussing, we've been having issues with network. Remember, this network is not owned to INEC. It's another group that provides that services, that will provide that service to the commission. And of course, what we are saying is that everything that will happen on election day, yes, human beings will do it. Human beings that are Nigerians, human beings that have a stake in the process, human beings that we believe will do the needful in terms of abiding to the rules governing the process. Because in the rules governing the process, there's no place that said anybody should rig or favor anyone. Every of these officials should be neutral and believing that they will do the right thing. And more so, our staff are actually trained, and also we tell them the essence of the duties they are going to perform. Are you getting it? That they have to uphold high level of integrity. In short, I don't know if any of you have actually experienced where the commission starts the training process for its ad hoc personnel. A lot is done because that is handled by the Electoral Institute, which is in charge of this process. And development partners actually assist the commission in this regard. Are you getting it? Because they come, because for the international best practices, they come up there. Even Mr. Austin can attest to this, because most organizations he belong to, these are part of the groups that collaborate with the commission to ensure we carry out this process. So we try to domesticate this based on our own system and infuse it so that people can learn it. But then, at the end of the day, you still find out that some persons still choose to do things the other way around. However, there are still stakeholders' influence on this particular process. Because like I said, even as we are trying to update our process, trying to ensure we do things very well, people are still out there trying to go the other way around. For this election, I remember somebody mentioned like the Ekition we had or something like the Beavers not performing. And Mr. Austin also talked about incident phone. Let me say this clearly. I wouldn't know, Mr. Austin, if you're able to verify if probably the result that person used manual accreditation was actually uploaded. That I cannot actually verify. But I want to say this clearly, that any result generated from a polling unit that the Beavers was not used, that result will not be uploaded. It will not go. That result will not fly. If that result will determine the winner of that particular election, that election will be conducted the next day. It has to be fixed to be conducted. That is where we stand, and that is the policy currently. Nothing like incident form. That is bimodal voter accreditation system is there. Nobody should, take another shortcut out of it. That's why I said everybody should monitor it. So like that presiding officer now, to me, it's another thing. Ordinarily, that kind of presiding officer should even be apprehended. Why would you disobey the law or the process that states that if Beavers fails to accredit, you call the RATEC. If the RATEC fails to show up, you cascade that information through your supervisor, who will now let the commission know. So if the result of that unit will definitely be a change, or probably who the winner will be, the commission will arrange for another day for that election to take place so that the winner can, be properly defined and the results can be called. The Beavers must be used.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I wanted to take a question from somebody, Coach Didi. Your hands are still up.
Yes, her hands are up. I think after Coach Didi, we can take all of them so that it will lead us. But they need to be unmuted. She's saying she can't speak.
Oh, yeah, HLE, please can you unmute Coach Didi?
All right, can you hear me? Fantastic.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the beautiful thing about SPPG, if I recall in our programs, is that we were taught about the appearance of bias and conflict of interests. So I'd like to ask the representative from INEC why or what he thinks about an INEC chairman being appointed by an executive. Doesn't he think that would have some kind of appearance of bias and increase the trust deficit of the populace? Wouldn't there be a better solution, like maybe be appointed by the minority leader of the National Assembly? I mean, all this, you're stressed to try and reduce the trust deficit. Isn't that just a simpler solution?
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Didi. Thank you. Your question has been noted.
All right. Let me answer this. I want to believe, for those in diaspora, I think I was in a particular radio program some months back. That was in Lagos. I was a co-guest with, I think, one of the House of Rep member, I think whether from the city of Chicago or something like that, where he actually said, the conduct of election in the US, in each state, the secretary actually is in charge of this election. These are politically exposed persons. Are you getting it? They are in charge of the elections. So, however, for Nigeria, the law actually provides that the president, in consultation with the this is their group again, they call them, that they call them for ratification before it goes through the Senate. Council of State, thank you very much. And therefore the Senate, after getting that, the Senate will now do their screening as well before the person is appointed. Remember, I used to say this, that even if the chairman, like I said, even if the chairman was taken from a party, non-political party, and is there with the existing law and everybody abides by it, he cannot even do otherwise. Why? Because the commission is a body and it has other commissioners. There are 12 of them. The chairman is making it 13. And these 12 persons represent each geopolitical zone of Nigeria. Of course, they all have their interests there. So, like I said, the chairman, on election day, the chairman is not in any of the polling units. He's only at the office, at the national, the headquarters, where he watches using the situation room and For the office of the president, all the results as collated and generated goes through the ladder from the polling unit to the next level of collation, depending on the constituency, before it gets to his own table, where everything, even before he collates, everybody has actually seen the results. But however, yes, that's why even in our process, whatever we are doing, we've outlined every activity we want to do. So that's why I tell people, try whatever you want to criticize. I'm not going to look at probably the chairman, whether he's biased or because he's appointed by the president. Look at whatever has been outlined by the commission. If it aligns with the constitution and the electoral act that we are using and the rules of the commission, fine, you take that good. Then every update you are giving, has it done well? Good. Then when it comes to deployment and everything, is there any form? So I think these are some of the yardstick we can use to judge, not necessarily because ordinarily people do background checks of people. Okay, for myself now, I am a civil servant, right? One can easily say, because the federal government pays me, are you getting it? I'm going to do the bidding of whatever government is in power. So the same thing applies to when you are accusing the chairman that is appointed by the president. All right. So to me, I think it is, what is the existing law in the conduct of election in Nigeria? Are we actually implementing or planning our programs according to the existing laws? If it deviates from that, fine. I think that is what the judgment should be. For me, yes, it's an all stakeholders affair. If they feel for them to get that trust from the commission, it's probably maybe the law should be changed on how the chairman should be appointed. Well, fine and good. Like I said, the commission is a product of the law, and whatever we are doing is according to the law. So if the law changes today, of course, that is what we will do. So it is not how I feel, but definitely ours is just to implement the policies as enshrined in the laws.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that response, Mr. Wilfred. Thank you so much to our audience. Time has been spent, and we'll be rounding off this conversation now. So finally, looking ahead to 2027, because I mean, all these conversations, it's because of what we have ahead, 2027. I'm going to start with Dr. Khadija. In your closing words, Dr. Khadija, what do you think are the three most important things that must happen between now and 2027 if Nigerians are to have greater confidence in INEC? Dr. Khadija, just pinpoint straight. What do you think are the three most important things that must happen between now and 2027? Dr. Khadija, I'm starting with you. Are you there?
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
The three most important things, I think I mentioned it earlier on. I spoke about the upgrading the tech, the true independence, cleanup of the logistics. But I have my last words and my concerns, and I think it's the bottom line of all that we're saying. I'll say, if we do not want allow apathy to win in the 2027 election, I think that I'll end with what troubles me with electoral governance in Nigeria, an issue that continuously pull at my heartstrings. Each year, we often see the rise in cost of conducting general elections in Nigeria, yet the trust equity is in deficit as it continues to decline. It's heartbreaking to see the cost of elections skyrocketing to 873 billion. This figure represents a 145% increase over the 355.3 billion approved for the 2023 elections. While voter turnout hits historic lows, we're paying for a process that leaves us feeling ignored. I hear people say, why bother?
I think we're still having some
Mr. Austin.
Mr. Austin, are you back? Is Mr. Austin back?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. So, sir, your closing words. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic ahead of 2027? Your closing words, sir.
Finally, INEC must not just tell us they will be independent. They must be seen to be independent. perception is reality. It is that perception that is reality that is making for this accusation about political appointment of INEC chair. There is nothing wrong when the president appoints an INEC chair, but because of the perception, that thing happened in Kenya. Not to go too far to the US, in Kenya, after 2008 elections, Kenyans came together that it would be unfair to have the president appointing the commission's head, and they did what they call an advertorial in a way that anyone that will serve on the INEC board, as in Nigerian case, the INEC, theirs is the ECBC. Anyone that will serve on the INEC board must be taken. It should be taken as a job. It's a job. People should apply that job because they need neutrality. INEC need to be seen. Citizens must see INEC as neutral and not the impression that it may be neutral. Election, improve on the issues that came out in Ekiti. That will contribute to improvement in trust or in further trust deficit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Austin. And thank you so much to our guests. It's been quite insightful, you must say. Today's discussion, of course, has reminds us that democracy does not just survive on institutions alone. From all the conversations we have been having, we have been able to establish that democracy survives on trust, and trust in the process, trust in the rules, trust in the willingness of even citizens to remain engaged when they are being disappointed. And whether one is optimistic or skeptical about Nigeria's electoral future, one fact remains, and that is the fact that democracy works best when citizens participate. There's been so much talk about INEC this, but we need to participate, and I think all our guests have hammered so much on that. As we look forward to 2027, it's our collective responsibility and to demand accountability, very important, from institutions like INEC, but also to remain informed. We need to remain informed, we need to remain engaged, and of course, we need to remain committed to the democratic project. So on behalf of the SPPG Public Leaders Network, thank you so much to our distinguished guests, and thank you so much to you, our engaging audience. I saw the chat was buzzing so hard. If we're to take all the questions on the chat, we'll have to stay on this call till maybe tomorrow. And to everyone who has contributed to this important conversation, we want to say a big thank you. At this point, I'd like to invite
please, I just under 1 minute, just a reminder, for those who have not registered, you have relations or real friends who have not registered. The CVR portal is still open till the 10th of July. That is when it's going to be suspended for us to prepare for the general elections. And another thing too, for those who have issues with they have registered, but probably they want to transfer, they want to update, or theirs is lost or defaced, just use the INEC registration portal to do that without necessarily going to INEC designated center, cvro.inecnigeria.org. You can carry out that process on your own. And no point going to any of the centers to go and queue up for that, except those who are registering. I'll go to the designated center.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And quickly, that reminds me. So there's this point you just mentioned, those that need to go and upgrade or something. So we had this discussion. There's somebody who has registered before, wants to now do the upgrade. But of course, when he registered, he had no beards, for instance. Okay, and now he's trying to do the upgrade, and there's a part where he needs to take a picture, and it does not recognize his face. All the other data are accurate, but his face is not picking up. What does it do?
What that person should do, because the system recognizes, so it's letting up like someone is trying to impersonate or try to do a change on your behalf without your knowledge. So you go and face the registration officer. So you go to the INEC designated center. They would directly use the IVED to do that update for you. It also goes for some women too. I encountered one recently when I was doing that. A young lady, as the time she registered, she was very young. Then later on, she was now married. You know the change, and the beavers refused to recognize her. So we now have to use the IDVET to do that update for her. Then there are some those probably who have accident too, scars on the face, also refuse to recognize. So that's why the process is like that, to ensure no one is trying to manipulate the system.
Okay, so they can go to any INEC office, not
INEC,
necessarily.
yes, for those with difficulty for that recognition, they go to INEC Center to do it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for that very important detail, which we left out. Thank you so much. Ehi, are you there? You can come and give us a closing.
Yes, I'm here. Let me say
Thank
well
you.
done and thank you to both of you, our moderators. It's been an awesome conversation. Moses and Benson, thank you so much. Well done. And I want to appreciate our guest, Mr. Wilfred. I guess you are used to this because you have really received all the heat tonight with so much grace. So well done.
Thank you. Thanks for
I
having
don't
me.
think I would have done a better job. Really appreciate your presence here. I want to thank Dr. Khadija. Is she still in the house?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
think so,
Thank
yeah.
you so much. Yes, I'm
Okay.
afraid to
Thank you
put on
so
my
much.
video before it goes off
Okay.
again. Thank you.
All right. Well done. Thank you for your insightful, information that you've shared with us, and you shared with us real life experiences, which is so valuable to the conversation. We really appreciate, and we'll still be talking after now. And thank you to Mr. Austin Ibe. Mr. Austin, my brother from another mother. Thank you, sir, for your time. You brought all the heat into the house. At one point, you said Mr. Ifoga was your friend, and at the other point, you literally turned your back on him. So thank you, Mr. Austin. And I really want to appreciate the rest of the community for this time and for engaging with us. I want to thank the director, and I'm going to call on her now to say a word or two. And she'll close for us. If any of our the leadership of SPPG is around, she will also let us know. But I want to let us know that before our director comes on board, that the conversation continues the last Saturday of next month. So please spread the word and let others join this conversation. I think for the first time this time around, we're going to put out a poll in the general group and get a feel of the kinds of things that we want to discuss ahead of time, so that we'll start looking out for possible people to engage as well. So please, I see that our handles have been shared in the chat. So please follow SPLN handle. In the group, we're over 600, but it's amazing the number of followers we have. So let's not just talk internally. Let's talk where it matters. Let's take our talk out there and call the people who are in charge to hear and make the noise that we need to make. So please click on the links and follow all our handles. Thank you to the comms team for a great, great, great job. Well done. And thank you to the tech team as well, Obina and co. I'm gladly and happily handing over to you, Mrs. Ariola. Thank you. Oh, she needs to be unmuted, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, comms team. I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Wilfred and Ifoga and Mr. Austin and Khadija, our very own Khadija. And this thank you is coming on behalf of Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, our founder, and CEO Africa, Mrs. Alero Atobo. It was such an interesting conversation. I didn't want it to end. I was laughing here. I couldn't even hold back. Mr. Austin, we have to have you back. Mr. Fogba, we need to have you back as well because you held your conviction to the end. You did not waver at all, and that is so good. We need to get some more information from you on what we as citizens need to look out for, what we should be doing, and how we are supposed to be. We need to support you. So we've tried as an organization to get to correct me if I'm wrong. We tried to send a letter to INEC to say that, look, we don't mind being an independent observer, and we want to even educate people on why they need to register and be part of the process. But we never got a feedback on it. But so we can engage you outside this workshop on. We don't want to sit on the fence. We want to be part of the process. We want to make things happen. We believe that if there's a system, our job is to uphold that system, and that's why we've been trained. We have over 1,000 plus graduates in the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. And one of the things that we want to do is to train ethical leaders. And that is something we're very, very passionate about. So thank you very much. And thank you for the job and the work that you do. It can't be easy. Well done. As everybody said, it's a trust issue. All of us, we're all in that seat. So let us just move on from there. But we would really love to have a bit more credibility. We would like to hold INEC accountable. We would like INEC to give us something to. I mean, it's not about the president, like you said, appointing the chairman, but it's the fact that accountability and there's transparency. That's what we want. So thank you, sir. Like I said, thank you, Mr. Austin. Thank you, Khadija. Thank you, the comms team. Every month is better, and we know it's going to get better. We hope that next month we'll have more people in the room because they need to be in the room. That's why we're telling them that if you're not in this room, you've missed. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you for the hard work. Every time you put in hard work, you always see the result of it. It comes out better. So thank you, everyone, and everyone that joined the call. Well done. Thank you. I think what we need to do, Mr. Austin was talking about us putting together a citizen, whatever I called it. Maybe that's the next step that we need to go to. So guys, let's look out for that. Look forward to having some kind of engagement around that and seeing what we can do as a community. God bless everyone. Thank you. Hey, well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a
Ciao.
blessed night.
Ciao.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.
you.
Good night.
Austin, we are coming for you again. No?
Yes,
Good
so
night,
everybody. Yeah,
everybody.
Mr. Austin, even Mr. Foga, we're coming for you
next
again, Mr.
month,
Foga.
part 2.
Yes, we enjoyed
Part
you.
2
Well
next
done, sir.
month. We are coming
Thank
back.
you.
Let's discuss on election observation. And I don't think you have to be registered. Let's
We
talk
are the
now.
dream. We are the
Shady, can you
nation.
mute? Mr. Austin is saying something.
Reduce the volume. Yeah.
Mr. Austin
was saying
go
something.
ahead. We are hearing you, Mr.
So I
Austin.
was saying that I heard the director said writing to INEC for election observation. I'm saying that you don't need to be a registered election observer. What we are moving towards now is citizens observation. Let's discuss further on that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Our next conversation will be, we'll start right open with the audiences.
Richard, over to you. Let's play our action song.
Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be. At the heart of the nation, changing history. How can they say that we are finished? We have just begun. When we have nowhere else to run to, we have nowhere else to go. So get out of the way of the land of our dreams. We are the nation, we are part of this. We are the nation, we are part of this. Whoa, carry the song, carry the sound. The future is here. The future is here. Goodbye yesterday, tomorrow is now for the taking. The future is here. The future is here. I am the future. I am the future. I am the dream. Whoa, I am the nation. The future has come.